What's up guys, it's CG. So this is going to be a thorough review of Parfums de Marly Layton. First I'm going to give you guys a rundown so you have a general idea of what the fragrance is about. Then I'm going to share how users rated the scent profile and the performance. My wife and I are going to give our first impressions of it. And finally I'm going to give you my overall opinion after wearing it. Without further ado, let's get this started. This fragrance is commonly rated #1 in men's cologne on Parfumo. That's compared to all men's perfumes in the world. And it's based on averaging how users rated the scent, longevity, sillage, bottle, and the value for the money. For the scent type, I would classify Layton as a menthol gourmand, and the menthol element of the fragrance is really what makes it unique. It has a fresh, Vicks-like menthol mixed with the vanilla, and it has spices and apple in it as well, but really that menthol vanilla is very front and center with this fragrance. It's very versatile and masculine. The top notes are apple, bergamot, lavender. In the hearts you have jasmine, violet, geranium, and in the base you have vanilla, pepper, guaiac wood, and patchouli. When asked to rate the scent profile, it got an average rating of an 8.6, which is a really high score. 82% of people gave it an 8 or above, and 20% of people gave it a 10, which means 20%, 1 out of 5 people, would rate this as a perfect scent. It's all subjective, but based on these markers, it's pretty uncommon for someone to dislike the scent profile of Parfums de Marly Layton. Longevity also received a solid rating of a 8.4. Only about 1 out of 10 people would score Layton as a 7 or lower as far as how long it lasts. I personally would have gave it a 9 or a 10. It lasts pretty much the whole day for me. It received an 8.1 when it comes to projection, which is a good score. I would have given it an 8. I mean, it's such a mass appealing scent. It can never really project too much. So I would always want it to project more, but at the same time, it does project a lot. I'm very happy with the performance on this fragrance, and I would give it just an 8. So with Layton, you're getting a very fresh mentholy opening. The opening is very medicinal and almost smells like Vicks Vapor Rub, to be honest. As it dries down, which happens within like a couple minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, this vanilla starts coming out. And the vanilla is not like a synthetic Bath and Body Works vanilla, and it's not overly sweet. It's actually, if I had to describe it, it's almost like a whipped vanilla, like a very airy, frothy vanilla that comes in along with the menthol. And that's like a lot of the composition, is that menthol vanilla that's just blended so perfectly well. There is like a green apple, but I have to be looking for it. It's not like a very prominent in your face apple. It's more just adding to the composition, adding to the whipped vanilla to give it a bit of a flavor along with that menthol. And there are spices that play like a supporting role. I don't really think like spicy when I smell this. The spices really just give that comforting spice vibe. In the very far dry down, the menthol kind of goes away and you're kind of left with like a sticky vanilla. But that's about 8 hours in, you know, and the opening is a bit medicinal, kind of like Vicks Vapor Rub. So the opening and the far dry down to me are a bit off-putting, but everything in the middle for those 8 hours is just bliss, and it just smells amazingly good, very versatile.
Parfums de Marly Layton. Oh my god. Okay, so what I get from it, it's like how a pack of menthol cigarettes smell like. I'm not talking about cigarette smoke or cigarette, you know, the nasty smell of cigarette. It's the menthol of the pack of cigarettes. Like if you take a pack of cigarette and you smell it and they're menthol, it has that in here. It's so good, at least to me. But mix that in with like a sweet vanilla mixed together. This is great. I love it. Yeah. To me, this is a 10. You know, for a guy in the winter or fall, 10. Yes.
Part of what makes it unique is it really combines so many elements. I mean, with the whipped vanilla, you kind of got a gourmand. With the menthol, you kind of got a freshness to it. And with the spice, you got like a comforting, spicy vibe. Also, when it comes to fall and winter fragrances, a lot of them are like fuzzy sweaters in a bottle is what I would call them. Like great for Thanksgiving, great for Christmas Day with that overemphasis on cinnamon and just pumpkin vibes. What's cool about Layton, what I'll always appreciate about it, is it really doesn't have to just be worn in those scenarios. It can be worn all fall and winter, casually or formally, because it almost has like a neutrality to it. Like there's only so many fuzzy sweater fragrances I really want in my collection, or Cinnabon fragrances, where it kind of gets dull and boring, and like I don't really know when to use that. But Layton is just such a good everyday wear for any time the temperature is below 70 degrees. Feel free to comment with your opinions and subscribe for future content.